Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something more powerful than talent, more valuable than experience, and more lasting than any certificate on your wall. It is attitude. We live in a world where everyone is racing to collect skills: coding, marketing, business, finance. These are important. But let me tell you something I've learned again and again: skills may get you the job, but attitude decides how far you will go. I have seen people with incredible skills who go nowhere, and people with average skills who rise to the top because their attitude never gave up. Attitude is how you think when things go wrong. Attitude is how you treat people when you are tired. Attitude is how you stand up again after failure. Skills build your resume. Attitude builds your future. So today, let's discover why attitude is more important than skill and how it can shape everything you dream to become. Opportunities are everywhere around us, but most people cannot see them. They walk through life with their eyes on problems, not possibilities. What separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck is not the number of skills they have. It's the attitude they carry every single day. When you have the right attitude, even the smallest moment can become a turning point. The right attitude makes you curious when others are doubtful. It makes you hopeful when others are afraid. It makes you step forward when everyone else is standing still. This mindset becomes like a magnet. It quietly pulls opportunities closer to you. Many people wait for the perfect chance to appear before they act. They think they need to master every skill first, know every answer, and prepare for every risk. But life does not reward those who only prepare. It rewards those who show up with the right mindset. Skills are tools. Attitude is the hand that chooses to pick them up and use them. Imagine a young person with very few skills joining a company for the first time. They are nervous, unsure, and inexperienced. Now imagine they arrive every day with energy, asking questions, offering help, smiling when others are tired, trying again when something goes wrong. People notice, leaders notice. Soon they are given chances, projects trust. Why? Not because of their skills, but because of the attitude that says, I will try, I will learn, I will not give up. Opportunities are not handed to people because they are the best. They are handed to people who make others believe they will make the best out of them. And that belief does not come from skill, it comes from attitude. The right attitude also helps you see opportunity where others see failure. When things collapse, most people run. But a person with the right attitude looks at the same broken pieces and thinks, what can we build from this? This is how new ideas are born. This is how innovation happens. Not by having perfect knowledge, but by having the courage to see light in darkness. Attitude is what makes you lift your head instead of looking down. It makes you ask, what's next? Instead of saying, it's over. People who carry this energy attract new chances like flowers attract bees. Their mindset makes them impossible to ignore. Even if someone lacks skills today, their attitude can open doors that skills alone cannot. Because attitude creates trust. People want to give opportunities to those they can trust to stay strong, stay humble, and stay positive. No one wants to give important work to someone who is negative, arrogant, or easily broken. Attitude becomes your silent reputation. Long before your talent is noticed, your attitude is already speaking for you. When you walk into a room with a positive, determined attitude, people feel it. It changes the energy. It shows them you are ready to grow, ready to fight, ready to stand beside them. This creates space for opportunity to land. Skills may help you perform once you get the opportunity, but it is your attitude that unlocks the door and invites the opportunity in. In this world, almost every skill can be learned. You can go to school to study business. You can take courses to learn technology. You can practice every day to master communication, design, or marketing. Skills are like tools waiting on a shelf. Anyone who is willing to put in the time can pick them up. But attitude is different. Attitude is not something you are handed. It is not something someone can give you. It is a choice you make inside yourself. Every person is born without skills. No one is born knowing how to build companies, solve problems, or lead people. These things are learned through time, effort, and failure. But what separates people is not how fast they learn, it's the attitude they carry while they are learning. A person with a strong attitude will keep trying even when it's difficult. A person with the wrong attitude will give up even if they are talented. Skills live in the mind, but attitude lives in the heart. And it is the heart that drives the mind to keep going when things get hard. A person can be the most skilled in the room, but if they are lazy, negative, or arrogant, those skills will not help them for long. On the other hand, a person who may know very little but has a strong, humble, and hungry attitude will learn quickly and rise faster. Because skills can grow on top of the right attitude, but the best skills cannot survive on the wrong attitude. Think of a young employee who has never done sales before. They don't know the techniques. They don't know the market. At first, they struggle, but they show up every day. They listen carefully. They accept feedback without ego. They try again after each failure. Slowly, they become good. This growth is not because of natural talent. It is because their attitude allowed them to keep learning. They chose to stay open, to stay curious, to stay strong. Now think of someone who enters the same role with more experience and talent, but with a negative attitude. They believe they already know everything. They refuse to listen, they blame others, and they give up when things are not easy. Even though they start with more skill, they quickly fall behind. Because while skills can be taught, no one can teach a closed mind to open. That part must be chosen. Companies and leaders understand this. That's why they often say they hire for attitude and train for skill. It is easy to send someone to a training program. It is hard to teach someone to care, to stay humble, to take responsibility, or to see possibility in every problem. Those things come from attitude, and attitude is a personal decision. The truth is, attitude shapes how fast you can gain skills. If your mind is open, if you are willing to be wrong, if you are excited to grow, then every mistake becomes a teacher. But if your attitude is defensive, arrogant, or fearful, even the best teachers cannot help you. You will block the lessons because your mindset is closed. The speed of your growth is not about how much you know. It is about how much you are willing to learn, and that willingness is born from attitude. People are naturally drawn to energy, not to titles, not to positions, not even to talent, but to the invisible force someone carries when they walk into a room. That force is positive energy. It is the light that makes people want to stand beside you, work with you, and trust you. Skills might impress people for a moment, but positive energy makes them stay. Positive energy is more than just smiling. It is a mindset that believes things can get better, that problems have solutions, that effort will eventually bring results. It is the way you react when things go wrong. It is how you talk about the future when the present looks uncertain. People feel this energy even when you say nothing. It shows in your eyes, in your tone, in the way you treat others when you are under pressure. In every team, in every company, there are always people who lift the mood. When they walk in, the room feels lighter. Others start to speak more freely, ideas flow more easily, and problems feel smaller. These people are not always the most skilled, but they become the center of trust and collaboration. Leaders notice them. Teammates respect them. Their positive energy becomes a bridge that connects people together. Positive energy creates movement. When a person is positive, they take action instead of waiting. They say, "Let's try," when others say, "Won't work." This movement inspires others to move as well. It creates momentum, and momentum attracts opportunities. People want to be part of something that is moving forward. They don't want to be stuck in places filled with complaints, excuses, or fear. Positive energy becomes a signal that says, "We are going somewhere." Even in hard times, positive energy stands out. Imagine a team facing failure. Everyone is tired, discouraged, and silent. Then one person says, "We can still fix this. We've come this far, and we can go further." That voice becomes a spark. Slowly, others lift their heads. They start offering ideas. They start believing again. Nothing has changed in the situation, but everything has changed in the atmosphere. That is the power of positive energy. It changes how people feel, and how people feel changes what they can do. People also trust positive energy more than skills. Skills can make someone look smart, but positive energy makes them feel safe. A positive person encourages others instead of competing with them. They celebrate others' success. They listen with patience. They don't spread fear or gossip. This builds emotional safety, and where people feel safe, they work better. They open up, they share, they innovate. Positive energy creates this space. Even the most talented people will not stay around someone who drains them, but they will go far with someone who lifts them. That is why positive energy attracts not just people, but the right people. People who want to grow, who want to build, who want to succeed together. Talent alone cannot create this magnet, but attitude can. Positive energy also makes people remember you. Long after they forget what you said or what your title was, they will remember how they felt when they were around you. They will remember if they felt inspired, respected, and believed in. This emotional memory pulls them back toward you again and again. In every workplace, every relationship, every opportunity, people naturally choose the energy that makes them feel stronger. Failure is something everyone experiences, but not everyone responds to it the same way. For some, failure becomes a wall. They hit it once and stop moving. For others, failure becomes a door. They open it, walk through it, and discover something new. The difference is not in how big the failure was or how much skill they had, but in the attitude they carried when it arrived. Attitude decides how failure shapes you. A negative attitude sees failure as proof that you are not good enough. It whispers, you should quit. A positive attitude sees failure as information, not identity. It says, this is not the end, this is a clue. That single shift changes everything. Instead of feeling broken, you feel curious. Instead of asking, why me? You ask, what can I learn? This is how attitude transforms pain into progress. When people talk about success, they usually show the victories. But behind every story of success are dozens of invisible failures, missed deals, wrong decisions, rejected proposals. Each of those moments could have been the point where they gave up. What kept them going was not skill alone. It was the attitude that treated failure as a teacher, not an enemy. Failure holds lessons that success will never teach. Success can make people comfortable, even careless. Failure shakes you awake. It forces you to pay attention, but only if your attitude lets you see it that way. With the wrong mindset, failure just feels like pain. With the right mindset, failure becomes a map showing you where to go next. The experience does not become wasted, it becomes wisdom. Imagine an entrepreneur who launches their first business and it collapses. They lose money, time, and confidence. Most people walk away at this point, but someone with the right attitude looks at every mistake. They study what went wrong, they listen to feedback, they change their approach, and they try again. By the time they build their second business, they are stronger and wiser. That strength did not come from books or degrees. It came from failure turned into lesson. This same pattern happens everywhere, in sports, in careers, in relationships. The people who grow are not the ones who never fail, but the ones who keep moving after failure. Attitude gives them the courage to stand back up while others stay down. It gives them patience to keep practicing when nothing is working. It gives them the humility to admit mistakes without losing self-belief. These are not skills, they are choices. And each choice turns failure into fuel. Attitude also decides how you carry failure in your memory. Some people carry it like a wound. They keep reliving it, letting it poison their confidence. Others carry it like a lesson. They remember what it taught them, not how it hurt them. This memory becomes power instead of pain. It becomes part of their strength, not their shame. And that quiet strength makes them ready for bigger challenges. People often fear failure because they think it will destroy their confidence. But confidence built on never failing is fragile. Real confidence comes from surviving failure, from knowing you can rebuild even when things fall apart. That kind of confidence can only grow when your attitude sees failure as part of the journey instead of the end of it. Every failure has something hidden inside it, but you can only find it if your attitude is willing to look closely. Skills are like technology. They change, they upgrade, and sometimes they become outdated. What is valuable today might be irrelevant tomorrow. The world moves fast, and every industry keeps evolving. A skill that once made someone stand out can slowly lose its power. But attitude is different. Attitude does not expire. It does not depend on trends, tools, or market shifts. While skills age, attitude has the power to grow stronger with time. When you first learn a skill, it gives you an advantage. It makes you feel confident, maybe even proud. But over the years, new people enter the field with newer methods, newer training, newer tools. If your attitude stays fixed while your skill gets old, you start falling behind. Many people stop growing at this point. They think the skill they learned years ago will carry them forever. They forget that what keeps you relevant is not the skill itself, but the attitude to keep learning. Attitude is like the root of a tree. Skills are like the leaves. Leaves appear, grow, and fall away with the seasons. But the root stays alive, and the deeper it grows, the more it can support new growth. A person with the right attitude keeps refreshing pushing themselves. They do not fear change, they welcome it. When something new comes, they do not say, "This is not how we used to do it." They say, "Teach me how this works." This mindset allows them to keep growing even while others slowly become stuck. In companies, this difference becomes very clear. Some employees rise quickly at first because their skills are sharp, but after a few years, they stop learning. They resist change, complain about new ideas, and hold on to old ways. Their skill becomes like an old machine, still working but slow. Then there are others who may not start as strong, but they never stop adapting. They take new projects, they try new tools, they learn from younger people, and they stay curious. Over time, they become the people everyone trusts. Their skills may change, but their attitude keeps them growing. Even the most advanced skills can become outdated. A programming language that is popular today might disappear in 5 years. A marketing strategy that works this year may fail next year. But the attitude to stay curious, to learn fast, and to embrace new ideas becomes more valuable with every passing year. This is why attitude becomes more powerful with age. It collects experience, it absorbs wisdom, it grows deeper while skills grow older. Attitude also helps you rebuild when your skills no longer fit the world. Many professionals face moments when everything they know becomes less useful. Technology shifts, industries collapse, rules change. People who rely only on skills often panic or give up. But people with the right attitude treat this as another chance to grow. They do not see it as starting over, they see it as starting wiser. Their willingness to adapt makes them rise again while others fade. As time goes on, people begin to value attitude more than skill. They know skills can be replaced by machines, by software, by new talent. But attitude, discipline, humility, optimism, resilience cannot be replaced. These qualities make someone valuable at every stage of life. They turn age into an advantage because each year adds more experience to a mindset that keeps expanding. This is why someone's true strength is not measured by how advanced their skills are, but by how strong their attitude becomes with each passing year. Trust is the invisible foundation that holds every team, every partnership, and every relationship together. Without trust, skills lose their power. People can admire your abilities, but if they do not trust you, they will not stand with you. They may respect what you can do, but they will hesitate to rely on you. And trust does not come from how much you know. It comes from the attitude you carry every day. A great attitude shows people that you are dependable, that you care, that you will stand by them even when things get difficult. Skills may prove what you can do, but attitude proves who you are. When people see consistency in your attitude, their belief in you grows. They stop worrying about whether you will show up because they know you will. They stop doubting your intentions because they know your heart is in the right place. This is how trust quietly begins to build. In workplaces, this pattern is clear. Imagine 2 employees. One has excellent skills but a negative attitude. They complete tasks well, but they are unpredictable. Sometimes cooperative, sometimes dismissive, sometimes defensive. The second employee is still learning, but they are kind, patient, and eager to help. Over time, people naturally start trusting the second person more. They become the one everyone goes to when something is urgent or sensitive. The reason is simple. People trust attitude before they trust skill. Trust grows from behavior, and behavior grows from attitude. If your attitude is humble, you listen to others, which builds respect. If your attitude is honest, you admit mistakes, which builds credibility. If your attitude is supportive, you celebrate others' success, which builds loyalty. These small daily actions come from attitude, not from talent. No amount of technical skill can replace the feeling people get when they know you will do the right thing, even when no one is watching. A great attitude also makes people feel safe. In teams, safety is not just about physical comfort, it's about emotional comfort. People want to speak up without fear of being judged. They want to share ideas without worrying about being shut down. A person with a positive and open attitude creates this space. They listen with attention, they respond with encouragement, they respect differences. This safety turns into trust, and that trust allows the team to work faster, better, and stronger together. Trust also matters during failure. When results are not good, people start to look at character more than competence. They ask, Can I count on this person when things go wrong? If your attitude stays steady under pressure, people trust that you will not collapse when they need you the most. This kind of trust cannot be taught in training. It grows naturally from how you carry yourself in difficult moments. Even leaders are chosen based on trust, and that trust comes from attitude. People do not follow leaders just because they are skilled. They follow them because they believe those leaders will protect them, guide them, and support them. That belief is born from seeing a consistent attitude of fairness, humility, and strength. When a leader shows ego, fear, or dishonesty, trust disappears quickly, no matter how talented they are. Over time, people stop remembering exactly what tasks you completed, but they always remember how they felt working with you. They remember if you were encouraging, respectful, and dependable. They remember if they could count on your word. This memory of your attitude stays longer than any record of your achievements, and it becomes the foundation of the trust that surrounds your name. Skills can make someone smart, fast, and productive. But without the right attitude, those same skills can become dangerous to the harmony of a team. Skills by themselves are neutral. They can be used to build or to break. It is attitude that decides how they are used. When someone has strong skills but a poor attitude, they often create tension instead of progress. Instead of lifting people up, they pull people apart. A person who is highly skilled but arrogant often believes they are above others. They stop listening, they ignore feedback, and they make others feel small. This behavior creates invisible walls inside a team. People stop sharing ideas with them. They avoid collaboration because every discussion turns into competition. The atmosphere becomes heavy, not because of lack of ability, but because of lack of respect. Skills cannot fix this damage. Only attitude can. Even in successful companies, one negative attitude can disrupt everything. One person with strong skills but no humility can weaken trust between everyone else. When they dominate conversations, criticize others harshly, or take credit for teamwork, others start to feel unsafe. This emotional stress slowly blocks creativity and cooperation. People begin working only to protect themselves instead of supporting each other. This is how conflict silently spreads from one attitude, no matter how impressive the skill behind it may be. Teams are like living systems. Each person affects the energy of the whole group. When someone brings talent without patience, knowledge without kindness, or speed without empathy, they create imbalance. Others spend their energy managing this imbalance instead of focusing on their work. They hesitate to ask questions, they avoid risk, and they hide mistakes because they fear judgment. In this way, one person's attitude can reduce the potential of everyone around them, no matter how advanced their technical ability is. Skills without attitude also make communication harder. A person who lacks the right mindset often speaks in ways that shut others down. They use their knowledge to prove they are right, not to help others understand. They interrupt, dismiss, or talk over people. This blocks the flow of ideas. Good solutions are lost, not because they are wrong, but because they are never heard. The team becomes divided, skilled individuals working alone instead of as a united force. Conflict also grows when skilled people with poor attitudes resist change. They often believe their way is the only way. When new ideas come, they fight against them to protect their ego. This slows progress and creates tension with those who are trying to innovate. Younger team members feel discouraged, leaders feel frustrated, and the environment becomes filled with silent battles. This has nothing to do with lack of talent. It is the result of attitude refusing to evolve. Even leadership cannot survive without attitude. A leader may be extremely skilled at strategy planning or decision making, but if they are cold, impatient, or disrespectful, they will lose their team. People do not leave organizations, they leave toxic attitudes. When leaders rely only on their skills and ignore their behavior, they create fear instead of trust. Fear can make people obey for a while, but it will never make them truly commit. Skills can complete tasks, but only attitude can build relationships. And relationships are what hold organizations together. Without a positive and respectful attitude, skills start to work like sharp tools in careless hands, powerful but unpredictable, and often hurting the people they are supposed to help. Growth is not something that happens by accident. It does not come just because time passes or because experience keeps adding up. Growth happens when a person keeps stretching, keeps improving, keeps moving forward even when it is uncomfortable. And this movement does not come from skills alone. It comes from attitude. The right attitude works like fuel. It pushes you through the hard parts, keeps you learning, and turns every challenge into a step toward becoming stronger. Many people stop growing not because they lack ability, but because they lose the attitude that drives growth. They become comfortable with what they know. They protect their current position instead of reaching for new levels. This comfort slowly becomes a cage. Skills stay frozen at the same level while the world moves forward. The people who keep growing are the ones who stay humble enough to say, "I can still do better." That sentence comes from attitude, not talent. The right attitude makes you hungry to learn. It makes you curious instead of defensive. When you face something you don't understand, you don't pretend to know it. You open your mind and ask questions. This mindset turns every situation into a classroom. Even failure becomes a lesson. Even criticism becomes guidance. People with this attitude grow faster because they are not busy protecting their ego. They are busy collecting knowledge. Growth also requires discomfort, and attitude decides how you handle discomfort. Learning something new often means looking foolish at first. It means trying and failing while others watch. It means working longer hours to understand what others already know. Skills alone cannot push you through this discomfort. Only attitude can. A strong attitude tells you it's okay to be a beginner. It tells you that every expert was once a beginner who refused to quit. The right attitude also turns competition into inspiration. When some people see others doing better, they feel jealousy and give up. When people with the right attitude see others doing better, they feel motivated to improve themselves. They study those who are ahead, not to copy them, but to learn what is possible. This mindset makes growth continuous because they are always chasing a higher version of themselves instead of comparing with others. In companies, the people who grow fastest are often not the ones who start with the best skills. They are the ones who are willing to accept new challenges. They say yes even when they are unsure. They volunteer for tasks that stretch them. Their skills may not be ready yet, but their attitude makes them ready to grow. Each challenge adds new ability, and each success adds more confidence. This loop of growth starts with mindset, not knowledge. The right attitude also attracts mentors. People like to invest their time and knowledge in those who are eager, respectful, and open. When a person shows they are willing to listen and work hard, experienced people naturally want to guide them. This guidance accelerates their growth far beyond what they could do alone. Skills can be taught quickly when the attitude is right, but even the best teacher cannot help someone who thinks they already know everything. Growth is not just about becoming more skilled. It is about becoming more adaptable, more focused, and more resilient. These qualities do not come from books or training programs. They come from how you think, how you react, and how you carry yourself each day. The right attitude builds this foundation, and once the foundation is strong, every new skill can rise on top of it like bricks stacking on a solid structure. Skills are like tools in a box. You can have the sharpest, most advanced tools in the world, but they are only as useful as the hands that guide them. It is not the tools themselves that create success. It is the mindset of the person using them. Attitude is what decides whether your skills become weapons or instruments, whether they build something meaningful or simply make noise. A person with the wrong attitude can misuse even the best skills. They may use their intelligence to prove others wrong instead of helping others grow. They may use their knowledge to win arguments instead of solving problems. They may use their experience to control people instead of empowering them. The skills stay the same, but the result becomes negative because the attitude behind them is negative. This is why two people with the same level of skill can create completely different impact. One builds trust and progress. The other creates fear and resistance. When the attitude is right, skills become a gift. People who carry humility with their skills use their knowledge to support others. They see skills as a responsibility, not a weapon. When they speak, they teach. When they work, they inspire. They focus on lifting people up instead of showing off. This attitude multiplies the value of their skills because it creates a positive ripple effect. Everyone around them learns faster, performs better, and grows stronger just by being near them. Attitude also guides how consistently you use your skills. Many people have strong abilities but use them only when they feel like it. Their emotions control their performance. If they are bored, they give minimum effort. If they are frustrated, they stop trying. But people with the right attitude use their skills with discipline. They show up with their best even on bad days. This consistency builds trust and respect. Over time, it turns ordinary skills into extraordinary influence because people can rely on them no matter what is happening. The way you approach challenges also depends on attitude, not skill. Skills can help you solve problems, but only attitude pushes you to face problems in the first place. Some people hide their abilities when pressure comes. They fear failure, so they stay quiet. Others see pressure as an invitation to rise. They step forward, they take responsibility, and they apply their skills boldly. This bravery is not created by knowledge. It is created by mindset. The same skill in different hands produces opposite results based on attitude. Even creativity depends on attitude. Skills give you the ability to do things, but attitude gives you the courage to experiment. Without the right mindset, skills become routine. People do the same things in the same way because they are afraid to fail. With the right mindset, people use their skills to explore new ideas, test new methods, and create better ways of working. Innovation is not about having more talent. It is about having the attitude to use your talent differently. Attitude also affects how you respond when your skills are challenged. Some people get defensive. They see feedback as an attack and protect their pride instead of improving. Others see feedback as fuel. They welcome it, study it, and use it to sharpen their abilities. This mindset turns every challenge into growth. Skills may open the door, but only the right attitude keeps you walking through new doors again and again. The direction of your skills is controlled by the direction of your thinking. Attitude is like invisible energy that spreads from one person to another. You don't even have to say a word. People can feel your attitude just by how you walk into a room, how you look at them, and how you respond to challenges. This energy moves faster than instructions, faster than rules, faster than strategy. When your attitude is positive, it lifts everyone around you. When your attitude is negative, it drags everyone down. That is why attitude is not just personal. It is social and it is contagious. Inside any team, one person's attitude sets the emotional temperature. If that person walks in full of excitement, others begin to smile without knowing why. If they walk in full of complaints, everyone becomes heavy and tired even before work starts. People mirror the energy they receive. They copy emotions more quickly than they copy actions. This is why leaders who stay calm during crisis keep their teams calm, and why leaders who panic make everyone panic. The team does not react to the situation first, they react to the attitude of the people around them. Attitude spreads not only through words, but through small behaviors. A simple gesture like encouraging someone, thanking someone, or listening carefully can create a wave of positivity that keeps traveling across the team. The person who receives it feels valued and passes that feeling to the next person. On the other side, sarcasm, disrespect, or cold silence spreads the opposite feeling just as fast. One careless negative comment can make 5 people silent, and one sincere compliment can make 5 people shine. This is how invisible culture is created, not by policies, but by attitudes multiplying. Even performance is shaped by contagious attitude. When a group is surrounded by someone who believes, "We can do this," they start to believe it too. They push harder, they try longer, and they stop fearing mistakes. But when a group is surrounded by someone who keeps saying, "This will never work," they begin to slow down. They hold back ideas. They stop risking anything because they already feel defeated. The same people with the same talent can produce completely different results based on the attitude environment they are breathing in every day. Attitude also shapes trust inside relationships. People naturally move closer to those who radiate confidence, warmth, and hope. They avoid those who constantly complain or criticize. This movement is silent but powerful. It decides who becomes the center of influence. The person with a strong, positive attitude often becomes the unspoken leader, even if they don't have the title. People go to them for support, for advice, and for encouragement. They become a source of energy in the system, and others orbit around them without realizing it. In difficult times, contagious attitude becomes even more visible. When things go wrong, fear and doubt spread like fire. But one person who stays optimistic can slow that fire down. Their calm tone, their steady behavior, and their hopeful words act like water. Others begin to copy their courage. They stand straighter. They breathe deeper. They start to believe again. This chain reaction is not caused by skills or by authority. It is caused by attitude leaking from one person into everyone else. Even outside work, in families, friendships, and communities, this pattern repeats. Children copy the attitude of their parents more than their words. Friends pick up each other's energy unconsciously. Strangers on the street react to your facial expression without knowing your story. Every smile you give, every time you choose patience, every time you stay positive when it is easier to complain, you are passing energy forward like light being handed from one candle to the next. In the end, what truly shapes our lives is not how many skills we collect, but how we carry ourselves while using them. Skills can open doors, but attitude decides whether we walk through them with courage or turn away in fear. Skills can win jobs, but attitude wins people. Skills can help us complete tasks, but attitude helps us rise again when everything falls apart. Throughout life, you will meet people with more knowledge, more talent, and more experience than you. But the world doesn't always follow the most skilled. It follows the most determined, the most positive, the most resilient. Because attitude drives effort, effort builds habits, and habits create success. The right attitude turns failure into fuel, competition into inspiration, and challenges into opportunities. It attracts trust, builds relationships, and multiplies the impact of every skill you have. So never worry if your skills are not perfect yet. They can be learned. They can be improved. But attitude is a choice you must make every single day. A choice to stay humble, stay hopeful, and keep moving forward no matter how hard the road becomes.